Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Stronger, Healthier, and Happier, the official podcast of Hill Family Chiropractic. Today, we're going to talk about our health mindset, whether we have an allopathic mindset or a holistic mindset. Dr. Hill, are you ready?
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, we'll be right back. Hello, and thank you for joining us for the Stronger, Healthier, and Happier podcast. I'm your host, Michael, the office manager of Hill Family Chiropractic, and with me is chiropractor, CEO, founder of Hill Family Chiropractic, Dr. Jared Hill.
Hello,
Dr. Hill.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. It's been a minute since we've been here.
Yeah.
We had a couple of really awesome workshop episodes for you guys to listen to, and then we had a spring break, a little bit of a spring break with some out of town and time with family, and so that's awesome. But we're back. We're ready to talk to you guys again about how to be healthier, stronger, healthier, and happier. Please, just quickly, just like in a few sentences, what was some highlights of your spring break? Breaking. Yeah,
break.
I get that.
Getting a break. And we can,
sure.
That's a whole nother episode of the importance of taking a break,
yeah,
recover, recharging, and of course, with that, seeing my family, my boy in Arkansas. I don't get to see him very often. Connor, if you're listening to this, he was telling me he was listening to him and his roommate were listening to our podcast. So
that's great.
They may be listening. Hello,
Connor. It's good to know that you might be listening to us. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I had a person too. I was on a Zoom call meeting with. I told them about the podcast, and she was like, "I can't wait to binge that." So
there you go.
That's going to be fun too. But so for me, it was the time with family as well. My kids weren't as busy during the spring break. We homeschool, so they don't get being home from school isn't different.
Right. Sure.
But they didn't have dance classes and things like that didn't happen in the evenings. So it was nice.
They got a break as well.
They did. And we got to kind of have dinner together as a family instead of half of us eat dinner and then 3 hours later, the rest come home and eat what's left of the dinner,
Yeah.
So that was nice having that for spring break too. So it was good to be with them. Played a little more video games, did that fun stuff that we do together.
That's awesome. Good family, quality time.
Absolutely. It was good. So hopefully you guys had a good spring break as well. And if you're listening to this in June and you're like, spring break was forever ago, sorry about that. That's just where we are right now. So
that's right.
That's okay. But so today our podcast episode is really inspired by you bringing something up in our team huddle the other day. You've been reading a book. We're going to kind of mention that and talk about it in a minute. That inspired you to share some stuff with the team about health and our mindset when it comes to our health and our holistic approach to health. We've talked about it with the Better Results Faster class. We've talked about weight loss. We've talked about a lot of different health factors in our office. But I like the way you put it today when we were talking about this episode on how to have a healthy mindset about your health or wellness, and what that mindset can look like. And so we're going to cover that a little bit today. So if you'll start by just kind of sharing what the book is and what kind of drew you to it in the first place, and maybe some of the key things you've drawn out of it as we move into the topic.
Yeah. Well, interesting story, what led me to the book in the first place. And the book is The Christian's Guide to a Holistic Health. Let's see if we can get a picture of that for those of you who are watching. By Dr. David Sandstrom, a naturopath. And basically, what made me come across that is a patient that we have in our office. She was at our Better Results Faster workshop, and she got done, and she was nodding a lot and agreeing a lot with her and her spouse with the information. And then she got done, and she was talking about how so much of it was correlated with the book that she's been reading, and told me about the book, and it sounded really interesting. So I checked it out, and she said, "Oh, have you read that book?" And I haven't. So I looked at it, and it's been amazing. It's awesome. It's so far we're very much in alignment of how we think.
I like that alignment. See, that's important.
But yeah, it's very much in alignment with our values and how we think in so many ways. And I'm looking forward to reading the rest of it. I haven't got through it all, but it really addresses the mind, body, and spirit, and addressing the whole person. And so it goes over everything from a lot of scripture throughout the book and relating it to how we think and what we put in our body and how we move and our emotions, and talking about rest and fasting and different recommendations and all kinds of good stuff. But
it's awesome.
It's it's been really, really refreshing to read something that is in alignment with the way what I believe and think. So I'm excited to keep plugging through it. So that's where it kind of inspired me to just share a few more things and remind the team of some about our mindset.
Yeah. You read in there just some information about the medical field and just some of the and this is kind of what I took. So some of this you may go, well, actually, blah, 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 which is fine. But that's kind of what this is all about, is you helping me understand better. So that, because I'm the listener, right? I'm those guys that are the ones going and trying to figure this out. But one of the things that stood out to me was the difference between, I need to put more things, I need to help your body by putting drugs or something like that into you, or cutting you open and doing things to you in order for you to feel better, versus your body is designed to function a certain way, and we need to make sure it has all the resources and tools it needs in order to make itself better. And I don't know, to me, the latter sounds like an approach I'm more open to and more interested in learning about and taking, but that seems to be a big juxtaposition between the two different kind of health mindsets in our society.
Yeah, kind of like what you're referring to is the vitalistic approach is one that believes that the body is designed, God designed the body to heal itself. And the 75 trillion cells are pre-programmed for health and healing as long as they're allowed to do its job, right?
Yeah.
But then there's stuff that in the world and how broken and we are and the world is that starts to interfere with that process, right? And then there's allopathic, which if I just read real quick,
awesome.
In the book, kind of gives you from Webster's definition of allopathy, which is a system of medical practice that aims to combat disease by use of remedies like drugs and surgery, producing effects different from or incompatible with those produced by the disease being treated. So, in other words, the drug or surgery that is being administered works in opposition to the infection or disease. So the goal is, which is not a bad goal, right? It's trying to, allopathy is trying to, oh my gosh, someone has cancer, let's try to kill the cancer, right?
Yeah.
If somebody has an allergy, let's try to get rid of the allergies. If somebody has reflux, let's stop the reflux, right? That's not necessarily a bad goal, but the question is that treating the whole person, or is it really getting to the underlying cause?
Yeah.
So the challenge that we try to have our patients start thinking of, if you want long-term health, then we need to really start looking beyond that rather than just treating the actual condition or the disease and looking at why is it there in the first place.
Right. Yeah, I think of it like the habits we get into. It's so easy to just want to feel better as quick as we can, and instead, and it being so much about I need to take an antibiotic so that the infection goes away so I can go back to school or go back to work, versus there's a reason my body has what it needs to fight this infection. I just have to feed my body what's necessary to make it happen. And it's such a mindset, like you said, the mindset. It's such a mindset shift to get there. And it's not real easy because of the
whole
the
way
society
the world is
we
set up.
grow up in.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, like, so with the emergency care, it's fantastic because you have a major injury. You want to treat that broken bone and your leg cut up, and you want to make sure there's no infection, and all those things work great with that. But when it comes to overall health and chronic illness and disease, we need to have a different mindset, because the mindset we're having right now with allopathic mindset, if we have that, then that is not working. You can look at all the statistics of what is the state of health of our country and the world when it comes to disease and cancer and so forth. It's just getting worse, right? Because we're not addressing the underlying cause. We got to actually start looking at what does the body actually need rather than to be healthy. So like if somebody is overweight, and a lot of times we'll think, hey, you need to lose weight to be healthy. But really, again, we need to not lose weight to be healthy. You need to get healthy, and then you'll lose weight.
Yeah.
Otherwise, what happens is if people that are trying to lose weight and trying to lose weight, they're treating the disease or the condition, and that's why people struggle so much, right? Same thing with cancer. How many people do you know that they have cancer, they go in there, they cut it out, radiation, chemo, whatever it is, and all that, the allopathic process was successful. They killed it off and they were successful. But then because the body is not healthy, guess what happens?
It comes back.
It comes back. And a lot of times, unfortunately, it comes back and it's spread throughout the body. So the goal, what we're talking about, the mindset, like you're saying, is trying to look at what's actually going to take care of the body. What does my body need to be healthy, more resilient, more adaptive, and stronger? And then that's when the weight will go off. That's when my body and my function, my allergies will be better. My chances for cancer is going to go down. My cardiovascular, digestive problems, whatever else is going on. And that's where in our office, that's what we aim to focus on, is getting to the underlying cause as well, right?
Yeah. And so just that was kind of a summary of just getting to the underlying cause of what's going on. So whether it's what we do in our office or what the book talks about, what are some of the ways, some of the approaches that are more holistic? Kind of explain the holistic approach now as the counter to what this allopathic approach is.
Yeah, so this is really good too, because here's the thing is, one thing over the years, I've been stuck in this mode too, is like, we know that, okay, there's all kinds of consequences or side effects from a lot of different medications. You want to try to stay away from these surgeries or medications because of all the negative. So then we start going with a natural approach, right? So, hey, let's do some essential oils, let's do vitamins, minerals, different herbs, and naturally to help work with the body in a sense that it's less harmful. But the problem is a lot of people, they'll do a natural approach, but it's actually still an allopathic mindset.
Yeah.
So for that, like, let's say if somebody has indigestion, a reflux or something like that, you could either take the medication to help decrease it, or you can take the herbs and different things to help decrease it. But is the body really getting healthy and really addressing why is the person having reflux in the first place? Mm-hmm. So same thing with chiropractic. We've had hundreds of patients that have gotten rid of all kinds of reflux and digestive problems, right?
Yeah.
Even though we're not treating those conditions. But my point is, some people will come to the chiropractor to treat their headache or their neck pain or their allergies or their stomach or their blood pressure. Multiple things that we see get well, but it's not getting well because that adjustment is all of a sudden addressing or treating that condition.
Yeah.
It's just helping the body, that as it's designed to heal itself, it's helping the nervous system communicate in a way that where our body can actually do what it's designed to do.
Mm-hmm. That's good. Yeah, I think you've said it before, like to me before, as a patient. I don't even remember when it was about our kids, I think, but it was years ago, and it always sticks in my head. And it's like, you don't have a headache because your body doesn't have enough Excedrin in it, right? Or ibuprofen in it. You don't have a cold because your body, doesn't have enough NyQuil. Like the NyQuil makes you feel less like you have the cold, but you still have the cold and your body's still trying to fight it. And sometimes you're dumbing down your body's ability to fight it by suppressing some of what your body is supposed to be using, right?
Right. I mean, like that, for example, with the fever. Yeah. Kind of like what you may be alluding to is the fever is our body's our ability to actually kill off the infection of what's going on. It's helping us. Our body, its innate intelligence is to raise the temperature and burn off. Like if you have a water you want to drink and it's contaminated, what are you going to do? You're going to boil it to help kill off the impurities.
Sure.
So when something's trying to attack you, a virus or bacteria, then of course it's going to raise the temperature to help kill it off. But what happens in our society, we've been taught to a lot of times take some Tylenol or something to decrease the fever and the symptoms. But unfortunately, really, that is what's actually the body's trying to do to kill it off. So every time we do that, for most people, it's actually slowing down their ability to heal and repair and fight it off, or that starts becoming more chronic, and then they got to go and they try to give more things, right? Antibiotics or whatever. And so it's getting back to when you are you doing things that is working with your natural ability to heal and repair, or are you doing things to work against it? And that's the thing about with an allopathic mindset is you're fighting against that condition. So the headache, you're fighting against it. The allergies, the digestive problems, the fever, whatever it is, it's against what is your body is doing to try to heal and repair. Yeah. Rather than a natural approach is trying to work with the body, especially a holistic approach is looking at the whole body and not just physical, but also it's looking at emotional, spiritual, social, relational, all these other elements and spokes of the wheel when it comes to health and how they impact one another. So if someone is under a lot of stress emotionally, that's going to affect their physiology and how their body digests or sleeps and so forth, or their blood pressure and so forth. And so again, we have to go and look at even in our field or on our side, when people are coming in here, we're trying to really understand who they are, what they've been through, and where they want to go to take care of the whole body and help them to be more adaptive and resilient to adapt to that, rather than treating what they thought in their mind was the cause of their problem was the back pain or headache that may be causing them to not sleep or have a hard time with work. But we got to get to that underlying issue of why is that even going on?
Sure.
Because otherwise, chiropractically, we can be another Tylenol.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah, and that's a lot of people's mindset, especially when they first come into our office. It is like the other. Tylenol doesn't even work anymore, so I decided to go to a chiropractor to get my headaches to go away. And so that's a great point. So what are some of the examples? What are some of the things that you do to fight? I love how you said instead of fighting against what's going on, you're working with your body, and you're coming alongside your body to heal. What are some examples of things that we do to do that, to help our bodies fight against the illnesses?
I like to go to the real basic, simplistic elements. Is we know we need fuel. So what kind of fuel are you putting within your body? Mm-hmm. All right. And so first we need oxygen, the nervous system to be able to communicate. So one of the things working with the body is we make sure the spine, the nervous system is functioning the way it's supposed to, because the brain's got to be able to communicate to the body and the body back to the brain and so forth. And then, so that's what we are addressing chiropractically with that. But then we need to make sure we're getting the proper oxygen through exercise, and to push that oxygen throughout the body and help flush toxins out. We need to get the proper nutrition, the fuel the body needs, so it can actually heal and repair and do its job. It's kind of like our body has the ability to heal and repair if it has the tools necessary, right? And so what some of the examples is just the basic things that most people already know, but we somehow in life, we get so busy and crazy, we kind of forget, or we want to not believe that those things we're drinking and the things we're putting in our body, really, it's not going to have an impact, or even the way we think. Mm-hmm. We forget how much that really has an impact on our overall health and our future. So getting those back in alignment, so our lifestyle choices, right? Basically how we think and how we move, what we put in our body and how we're resting, all those elements, getting them in alignment with the way we're designed and created, how God put us and what we need. Yeah. It's just it gets to the very basic, but I think people need to be refreshed on what those basics are.
Yeah, I think that's true. And I'll tell you, as kind of confession time, my tendency, if I'm not really actively paying attention, thinking about my own health, my tendency is to just do what's easy and quick, right?
Sure. Oh, yeah.
And I think that's the majority of the issue with people is I've got to get my kid back in school as quick as possible. So if my kid would have a fever for 3 days and then kick the illness, versus they would allow him in if he's been on antibiotics for 24 hours, I'm going to do the 24-hour option, right? It's not better for my kid's body. It's not healthier for them, but it gets them back in school and me back at work. And
right.
So I think, man, it's a lot of it is that, and I love the term mindset. I think we may be starting a mindset series here today, but the initial mindset of, it's not about I'm not getting healthy. I'm not trying to get better from my sickness just to get back into being as busy as I've been that made me sick in the first place, right?
Right. Yeah.
My goal is health for my body, and I'm healthy for health's sake. And I like you said, I'm not trying to get healthy. I'm not trying to lose weight to be healthy. I'm not trying to not be sick because I want to be healthy. I'm trying to live healthy so that I can work and go to school and raise my family and do whatever I do from that place of health, not the other way around.
Yeah, and I think that one of the things you hit, I think, is really important is because of our lives are just so busy.
Yeah.
I mean, that our mind we don't really process. Most of us don't really think for future and think, what path am I going on? Where's the direction that I'm heading? And we can just kind of think right now, tomorrow, or this week, or what I got to get through, right? So, but in that, with the antibiotic, there's a reason why now there's antibiotic resistant strain bacteria that we're having a hard time, that people are dying from. And basically, you think about how the risks, the health risks of cancer increase risk, or allergy increase risk, the more antibiotic use that someone has had, and so forth. And we think about our body, if somebody has an infection going on, and if our body, in our immune system, has the opportunity to go ahead and identify that bacterial infection and then kill it off itself, do you think that's a stronger, more resilient to the environment and any kind of bacteria that is near it or like it, versus when someone is sick and when we give them an antibiotic that kills it for us, which also then is unfortunately destroying all of our good bacteria that we need for our overall immune system in general, and to adapt to the environment and so forth. But that in general starts to weaken our body's ability to adapt and be resilient for long term. So that's why, of course, cancer increase. And I'm getting a little sidetracked, but the point is that a lot of the things we're doing to try to be, in a general, healthy because we're sick is making us sicker, rather than really going to, why is this happening? What does my body need? Does it need more rest? Does it need more nutrients, less sugar? Or do I need to change? Why am I so stressed out? Do I need to come to the Lord and say, Lord, help me? Why am I trying to control things that shouldn't be controlling? Like, what is it that's actually causing the anxiety and the stresses and so forth? But that's where the holistic approach and the mindset of looking at the mind, body, spirit as together, rather than just looking as a physical disease and treating that, where we're doing chemo and radiation to kill off the cancer, which hopefully the body and the person survives after that cancer is done. And unfortunately, with my sister, who we've dealt with that years ago, is she did that route, right? Allopathic viewpoint, and it worked. It killed off the cancer. But then it wasn't long, and all of a sudden she had it again. Yeah. And then she went the same route, was trying to kill that off, and it was looking like it was working again. And then she found it throughout in her brain, and her bones, and her body, and it was spread throughout. And it was very unfortunate to see her pass away. But rather than, my whole concern is, it's not taking care of her body. The body needs to get healthy. Right.
Yeah, and I have an experience in my family that's kind of the opposite. My mother-in-law going through an extreme form of cancer, very large tumor, had to have it removed surgically. According to the doctors, it was the only way to get rid of it. Chemo wouldn't have even done it. Had it removed surgically, had some more show up in her lung, so they did chemo for that. But through that process, her mindset shifted on health and how she treats her body. And she went again, I think it was this week, Monday. She went back for another scan, which she does every 6 months. And she's several years now without anything coming back.
She's been doing awesome.
And her mindset shifted to, my body has what it takes. And she's a patient here, and she has been for years. But my body has what it needs to protect me from this cancer. I just have to make sure I'm not limiting my body by what I put into it, or by not moving, and by being too, sedentary, by all the different, her mindset, her faith, her ability to cast her cares upon the Lord, all these different things that she does intentionally to give her body the tools it needs to fight against this cancer coming back. And I say this in faith that she is, permanently free from this, but it's the kind of thing that you can see. She got to a point where there was just only one option. It was literally that emergency care, life-saving option. But then that doesn't mean you've done that, now it's too late. Her mindset shifted, and now she's seeing the results of that positively. So
So I know before we close, though, I got a challenge for the listeners.
Great.
Is for each one of you guys to be thinking about your daily routine and your weekly routine and your focus on your health and where your path that you're going. Are you making choices that are in alignment with what your body needs, right? And we can't think that we're doing these things, but it's not that bad. But a lot of times it's going to catch up to us eventually, right? So So, and then if you are doing things in alignment and you're taking great supplements and you're getting massage or chiropractic care, acupuncture, whatever else you're doing, even different exercises or specific things, are you doing that to treat a condition or to take care of your body and give your body what it needs to be able to express itself fully without anything interfering with it, allowing the God-given ability to heal and repair, and how amazing and wonderfully it's designed to just do its job.
Yeah.
Are you focused on that, or are you focused on hoping that by going to the chiropractor, by going and getting taking those essential oils, it's help treating certain conditions? It's a mindset game that I challenge you to think about for yourself. What makes sense?
Well, and I'll tell you what, I'm challenged. So
all right,
it's helped me. I'm already thinking where are those places that I need to look at in my life and make adjustments. And there's too many of them. So I'm gonna start my list as soon as we finish recording this podcast. But thank you so much for that, for bringing your thoughts on the book. And I think we're going to continue kind of talking over just this mindset shift that we need over the next several episodes of the podcast. As we've been talking, I've been thinking about different branches off of this that can be entire episodes, right? Yeah. And so we'll cover that. We'll go through that over the next several episodes of the podcast. So thanks very much. And if you enjoy the show and you want to tell a friend about it, you can do that. You can share it with them. This will be on Facebook as well as YouTube and on anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can also email us at info@hillfamilychiropractic.com if you have any questions, comments, thoughts, anything you want to add to our discussion. Any specific questions, maybe at the end of this like mindset series we're just decided we're doing, we can do just a whole Q&A episode where we answer questions based on everything that we've been talking about over the last several episodes.
And maybe you can post a link or something like that to the book with
I'll do that.
Dr. David Sandstrom.
That will be in the show notes and in the descriptions of the video for whether you're on Facebook or YouTube. So
I have not finished it completely, so I can't validate that I'm 100% aligned yet, but so far, I love it.
So far, so good. Yeah. That's awesome. And hey, thank you again very much for listening. I'm grateful for Dr. Hill taking this time today this is normally Dr. Hill's day off when we record this.
This is fun.
And so we get to get here and just chat. Yeah, he's like, I'm just talking chiropractic and health. It's having fun. So, but we're grateful for him, and I'm grateful for you listening and for watching. Tell your friends, and we will see you next time on Stronger, Healthier, and Happier, the official podcast of Hill Family Chiropractic.
Bye-bye.
See ya.